Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is Saturday, April 12th, 2025, and we have a very special adventure planned for this weekend.
As you can see, we are currently at the Grand Canyon and we are heading toward the famous Supai hike. And we are very, very excited. We started off our morning with a pleasant sunrise and now we are doing a bike ride along the rim. We are now back at our campsite in Mather Campground. Unfortunately, we didn't make it all the way to Hermit's Rest, but man, the trail was beautiful. You have viewpoints all along the ride, and we stopped at almost every one of them. Before we leave the Grand Canyon, we are going to put our sticker on the van and then head to Flagstaff to do some chores.
Here's the sticker in question, best one we could find. Let's get it on the van.
I cannot believe our time at the national park is already over. We barely got a taste of what the park has to offer. We just did a bike ride and a sunrise, and boy, we want to come back already.
But we had really good reason to leave so early. We are doing the Beaver Falls hike in the Supai reservation. It is a 4-day, 3-night backpacking trip that's 10 miles down the Grand Canyon and 10 miles back up.
Tonight we are staying at the Grand Canyon Caverns Inn. There's a campground there that we're actually staying at, and it is the closest place you can stay to the trailhead. So tomorrow morning we will be getting up bright and early to drive. It's a little over an hour to the actual trailhead where we will start our descent into the canyon.
"4 a.m., well about 4:30 now, and we are headed to the trailhead."
We are doing this backpacking trip with some of our very best friends. We try to do a trip at least once a year, and this has been on the bucket list for a few years now. Let's meet the group. Hi, I'm Jess. This is me after the hike. I got 9 blisters.
Hi, I'm Greg. This is me after the hike, and I almost fainted at the top of the hill.
Hi, I'm CJ. This is me after the hike, and everything in my body hurts right now, so I'm on my way to Caesar's Palace.
Hi, I'm Shannon. This is me after the hike, and I only had one panic attack on this trip.
Hi, I'm David. This is me after the hike. We forgot to film before we started.
All your elevations wrong in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, wow.
We're about 2 miles out from the village. The hike in has been gorgeous, but very much a gradual downhill all the way through the canyon. So I think on the way up, we're gonna be paying the price.
walk through the village was very interesting. Now we've made it the 2 extra miles and are at the campground, looking for a spot for the night.
Well, as you can see, we made it to our campsite for the week. Once we made it to the village, which was very interesting to see. Unfortunately, you can't take any photos or videos in the village, so we don't have any footage of that, but the village was really interesting. There's a cafe and like a general market, like a grocery store there. And as we were walking through, the helicopter landed to take people out of the canyon, because I think for only $100 you can get a helicopter ride out of here, which sounds pretty good to me. But after the village, we hiked about another 2.5 miles to get to where we are here. And for the rest of the day, we're just relaxing and possibly going for a swim in Havasu Falls.
After a break at the campground, we decided to come explore Mooney Falls. It might be a bit of a challenge to get down there, so we're excited to see how that goes. The hike down to Mooney Falls was more difficult than any of us had anticipated. First, you go through this cave, which, not too bad, but then, once you get to the other end of the cave, you literally are climbing down this cliff holding on to chains. And this is what led to Shannon's panic attack. Once you make it through the cave and down the cliff by holding on to chains and climbing down ladders, you are greeted with the most spectacular view.
That climb down was no joke. Everything's wet. There's difficult foot placement and handholds the whole time. It's no joke. We were all pretty rattled.
Climb down was rough, but they said it's going to be easier on the way up. He's roving around.
What shall we name this boy?
What do you look like?
Sam?
Sam? You could be a Sam.
Yes, Sam.
You like that?
Sam!
Hi, Sam.
So we're back at the campground now, and that hike to Mooney Falls is no joke. None of us realized what you had to do to get down to the falls, but you're holding on to chains, you're climbing down literally just the cliff face, all while being misted on. It was pretty wild, but the falls were beautiful. We're back up at camp, and we just all had dinner, and now we're gonna probably head to bed and start again tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be our rest day, so we're just gonna relax and explore the place. So we'll see you then. Well, good morning. We had a wonderful night last night. The temperature was perfect to sleep in, along with the river noise. You can't beat it. So we had coffee this morning and some oatmeal for breakfast. And today is our lazy day, so we are going to head up to Havasu Falls before going back into Supai village to finally try some fry bread.
It was good to see. It was just me. I said to myself on.
They say you can drink this water straight from the spring, but we're not taking any chances. There are 5 main waterfalls within the Havasupai reservation. one we saw yesterday, one we will see tomorrow, and today we will be visiting 3 of them, starting with Havasu Falls. Wow, what an incredible day. We spent the day kind of exploring the village a little bit more. We went to the cafe, got some fry bread, which the dessert fry bread was delicious.
Dessert fried bread's definitely the way to go.
It's light and airy, and then you just get to pick what toppings you put on. So we did cinnamon sugar, powdered sugar, caramel sauce, and Nutella, and wow, it was good. Then we spent the rest of the day just exploring the waterfalls around here. I knew there were a few main ones, but I didn't realize that it's just cascades the entire way down the canyon. And one of our favorites was 50-foot falls, which is not talked about very much, but it's a bit of a hike to get there. Not long, but a little difficult and technical. But it was more secluded than most we've been to, and it was incredible. Just gorgeous. So we're gonna spend a little bit more time at this one while we still have some daylight, and then head back to camp for the night.
What's for dinner?
Icy hot. So
What else is for dinner?
We
Oh, it's
had
already
chicken teriyaki rice.
Yum.
It was actually one of the best backpacking meals we've ever had.
yeah, it was
Highly,
the best.
highly recommend.
Yeah.
CJ, what's on the menu?
Chili cheese Fritos, the only thing you need when
I know. What else? Tell the people what you had.
and fake chicken.
The buffalo.
Shannon?
Pasta primavera.
And I had good old chili mac.
Well, good morning. It is day 2, I guess, of our trip. And today our plan is to hike down to Beaver Falls. It's the last falls that we haven't seen yet. So that's the mission today. We just ate our oatmeal and peanut butter. Now we're having some coffee before we hit the trail.
Now to get to Beaver Falls, we have to go back down Mooney Falls, climbing on the sketchy rocks with ladders and chains, and it's a little terrifying.
It's a little terrifying. There are a pile of gloves right here. So you can use those that help you, give you a little better grip on the chains. We just have to climb down that. Going down the climb at Mooney Falls the second time is much better. We all did a whole lot better than the first time. At the end of the climb, we get down to the bottom, turn around, and 2 bighorn sheep are grazing right at the bottom of the waterfall. It's crazy. Now we're on the hike to Beaver Falls, staring at what I think will be one of our first water crossings.
That's a long crossing.
Oh yeah.
First river crossing.
Alright.
Looking like it might be mid-thigh deep, but we'll see.
I'm in good at that. It's cold. Oh boy. We're going in.
Oh! We're gonna try this way.
I'm so close to keeping the short
Oh, First crossing, what'd you think?
First crossing done. My pants stayed dry. It's pretty deep. That was easily waist deep if you took the wrong line like David did.
Number 2.
I made it. Don't dilly dally. You're a colder man than I.
What feels colder? And this is where we sat, watching what we thought was Beaver Falls. Until we realized it was not Beaver Falls, and we still had a couple miles to go. But it was beautiful, and we had it all to ourselves.
Thick.
Wow.
Shit.
That is cool.
Are we going up something crazy?
Asking to.
Either one of them.
Oh gosh.
Anybody want to go first?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
She's sturdy.
She's sturdy. Oh, there's even a rope to hold on to.
The ladder's probably a new improvement.
Yeah.
This sounds a little sketchy.
Come on up. CJ, what's for lunch?
I'm having Bobo's Uncrustables and trail mix.
Yeah. Greg?
sriracha tuna and a good old packet of ramen.
How about you guys?
Ramen and some zesty lemon pepper.
Some fake chicken.
I'm having lemon pepper tuna and ramen.
Well, that was Beaver Falls. The trail was challenging, a little difficult, but fun and totally worth it. Probably the best swimming spot on the trip, and definitely the bench and lunch spot I've ever had on a backpacking trip. That's for sure. And now we're on our way back before it gets too hot.
We are back at camp for the night. On the way, we saw some bighorn sheep. Then we headed up to the fry bread hut where we had fry bread with Nutella, strawberries, and bananas. And my goodness, it was delicious. We have decided the one at the hut is much better than the village. They make it fresh. It's so warm, light, and airy. It was really good. Now we're hanging out at camp for the night. We're gonna have dinner and I guess just relax for our last evening before we hit the trail. Greg, favorite waterfall?
Havasu Falls.
Shannon?
I'm gonna take the oxygen thingy out.
It's
Okay, we'll come back to you. Please,
Food will
CJ.
be okay.
Mooney Falls.
David?
I think Beaver for the swimming.
Ooh, Beaver.
Beaver.
I'm gonna have to go with David and Shannon on this one. I liked Beaver the best.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, April 16th, 2025. It is 4 in the morning.
And we are packing up to start our ascent out of the canyon. It's about 11 miles back to the trailhead, uphill the whole time.
Let's go. We're 5 miles in. We're all dying, but we're making really good time. We should be out of the canyon by latest at 11. That's our goal. We'll see.
We're at the base of the hilltop. It's about 1.5 miles more straight up the entire way. This last 1.5 miles is going to be the toughest of the hike so far.
We finally made it to the top.
That was the hardest 1.5 miles I've ever done.
But overall, the trip was incredible. The place is very special, and you really feel like it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing to be there. It's amazing.
Definitely exceeded our expectations in many ways. I kind of knew there were a couple main waterfalls, but there were way more than that. And not just the main waterfalls. You just walk along the river and there's cascades the whole time.
Yeah, and the camping was phenomenal. Your tents are right next to the flowing river, so you sleep so well every night. The waterfalls are just as picturesque as you've seen on the internet, and it was just awesome. An incredible trip.
And the fry bread was really good
The
too.
fry bread was really good.
The
Yeah,
dessert fry bread at the hut was by far the best.
definitely. Now we are off to Flagstaff to pick up Maya.
Yay!
As always, thank you for watching. If you would like daily updates, you can follow us along on Instagram and TikTok at captured_exploration. And with that, we'll see you next time.